My name is Tom Walker, and on Christmas Eve I hit the floor in front of my entire family, gravy soaking into my shirt, my hips screaming, because my stepson Kyle shoved me away from the head of the table and said, loud and clear, "That seat belongs to my dad. Get out." For a second, nobody breathed. Christmas lights blinked in the window. Forks froze mid-air. I stared up at Kyle's half-smile and waited for my wife, Linda, to say my name like it mattered. She didn't. She grabbed napkins and wiped the gravy off the hardwood like the spill was the problem, not the man on the floor. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. Not anger. Something colder. Something final. Cedar Rapids, Iowa has always been home. Snowy driveways, small talk at the credit union, fish fries at the VFW. I'm 56, and I live by simple rules. Show up, keep your word, pay your bills early. At our age, your name is your credit. And that chair Kyle shoved me away from wasn't just furniture. It was my father's chair, old wood, worn arms, a squeak in the back left leg. When my dad was in hospice, he sat in that chair by the window, watching the parking lot like he was waiting for someone to come home. After he passed, I restored it myself, tightened the joints, stained it walnut, repatted the seat, because saving that chair felt like saving a piece of him. When Linda and I married, second marriage for both of us, I brought that chair into her house like it belonged. For years on holidays, it sat at the head of the table, not because I demanded it, but because that's where the host sits. And I'd been hosting more than anyone wanted to admit. 2 summers ago, I spent my savings redoing Linda's kitchen. Solid cabinets, better lighting, a new faucet. Nothing fancy. Linda cried and said, "Now I can have family over without being embarrassed." I believed her. Kyle was supposed to be part of that family. Kyle is 32, broad shoulders, quick temper, always between jobs. He never called me Dad, just Tom. I didn't push it. I helped anyway. Tools, advice, bills, because I thought kindness would come back around. Then Kyle's biological father, Ray, showed up again. Ray was loud, confident, the kind of man who filled every room. Linda said he'd been mostly absent when Kyle was a kid. Lately, he was making up for lost time, which meant spoiling Kyle and reminding him who the real father was. This Christmas, Ray insisted on coming to dinner. Linda said, "It's important to Kyle." I said, "So am I." She gave me that tight smile that meant, "Please don't start." The house filled with turkey smell and old Christmas music, the kind my dad used to hum. Kyle arrived late with Ray right behind him. We sat. Plates clinked. Someone said a quick prayer. I reached for my dad's carving knife. That's when Kyle grabbed the back of my father's chair. "That seat belongs to my dad," he said again. "Kyle, don't," I said. He shoved me, not playful, not accidental. I hit the floor hard. Pain shot through my hip. Gravy splashed across my shirt. Kyle stood over me like he'd finally proven something, and Linda wiped the floor. I waited for one word, one sentence. She never looked at me. In that blinking Christmas light silence, I finally understood the truth. To them, I wasn't family. I was maintenance. So I stood, swallowed the pain, and walked out into the Iowa cold without saying a word. At 6 the next morning, my phone chimed. A credit alert, change detected, my score had dropped, hard, new inquiry, new account. That doesn't happen unless something's been opened in your name. An unfamiliar number called. "This is Hawkeye Community Credit Union," the woman said carefully. "There's a delinquent loan where you're listed as the guarantor." "I didn't co-sign anything," I said. There was a pause. The signature on file reads, Tommy Walker. My blood went cold. I don't sign Tommy. I haven't since I was a kid. Only one person ever called me that, my father. And in that moment, I knew exactly who had done this, and why Christmas Eve was never really about the chair.